Hello everyone, it's Rob here. Just with a very quick message before your video starts. I just wanted to remind you that the Draw with Rob activity book is out now. You can get it right now. And if you like these videos, I think you'll really like this book. It's full of lots of the draw-alongs of your favourite characters, and then loads of other stuff like puzzles, colouring pages. There's bits where I've started a drawing off and you need to finish it. There's even a nice certificate for you at the end if you complete all the activities in this book, and you can fill in. There's a page which you have to write all about yourself, your favourite things, and draw a self-portrait, that kind of thing. So I think you'll really like it. Okay, that's enough for me. You need to watch your video. Here it is, your Draw with Rob video. Have fun. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Draw with Rob. With me, Rob Biddulph. There I am. That is exactly where I'm sitting right now to do this video. In fact, it's the back cover to my Draw with Rob activity book. I hope you're all enjoying that if you've got it. Now, I am a children's author and illustrator. Maybe you've seen some of my books. Have you seen this one? It's called Kevin. It's all about a young boy called Kevin here who keeps getting in trouble, and look, when he's asked by his mum who made the messes that he'd made, that he starts describing this character called Kevin that he says made all the messes. And then what can you imagine what happens when it turns out that Kevin is actually a real character? Because look, Sid, he goes up into the imaginary world to visit him up there. So that's a really fun story. Maybe you've seen this one. This one's called Wide Awake. It's part of my Dinosaur Juniors series, and this is a good one. It says the perfect rhyme for sleepy time. It's a very good one for bedtime. Stars all of your favourite Dinosaur Juniors characters, including Gregosaurus. There. But today, we are going to do a drawing from this story here. This is a rather well-worn copy of my book, GRRRRR. I think my own daughters have read this one quite a few times. So this is the story all about this bear here called Fred, who is a champion bear at the Best Bear in the Wood competition. But the character that we are going to be drawing today is this guy, Boris. Boris the bear. Now this guy is Boris, the new bear in town. He's entered the contest to win Fred Bear's crown. He's big and he's strong, and he's fast and he's clever. They say that his grrr is the loudest grrr ever. So Fred, he is sort of the baddie in this story, I suppose, if there is such a thing as a baddie. And actually, it turns out that he's not bad at all, really. He's just a bit lonely. But he's a really fun character to draw, I think. A bear character who's got really cool glasses and a nice curly moustache. So I thought that today I would show you how to draw him. So what you're going to need is a piece of paper, like this piece of paper here. You're going to need a pen, like this pen here, or maybe a pencil. Anything that makes a mark on a piece of paper, that would do the trick. And we're going to start our drawing. Right, in case you haven't seen these videos before, this is how it works. I do a little bit of the drawing on my piece of paper. You pause your video, you copy exactly what I do on your piece of paper. Start the video up again, I'll draw a bit more. Pause the video, you'll draw a bit more. Start the video, I'll draw a bit more. Pause the video, you'll draw a bit more. I draw, you draw, I draw, you draw, I draw, you draw. And then we end up with a drawing of Boris the bear. Okay, shall we start? Here we go. Very easy start this. We need to make a mark right at the top of our piece of paper, and that mark is in the form of a horizontal line. Just a couple of centimetres wide, not very big at all. Nice, easy start. Then, at the left-hand end of our horizontal line, we are going to draw a curve, like that. Then at the other end, we are going to draw a curve like that, exactly the same size as the other one. Then from this start on this side, from the bottom of this curve here, we are going to draw a line that goes all the way down to the bottom of our page. It's not dead straight though, it's going to sort of start straight, then it's going to curve outwards like that. And then before we get to the bottom of the page, it's going to just tuck under, like that. So it's a sort of, I don't know what you'd call that. It's like a J shape, I suppose, isn't it? you know what? We're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So we need to do a mirror image of that on the other side. So it's a bit easier to do this because you've got a sort of guide in front of you. So I'm going to try and make it as symmetrical as possible and then join up at the bottom like that. That's not bad. That's not bad. There's a bit of extra pressure on me when I'm doing this because I'm recording it and I don't want to make a mistake because you're all, thousands of you get to see it. That'll be quite embarrassing. Okay, now the next thing to do is we need to add a couple of legs at the bottom of our Boris the bear's body, because that's what this is. This is body, ears, body. So this is what we do. We are just going to add a little line there on that side. Then at the bottom of that line, we're just going to do a sort of horizontal line. And then we're going to join back up to the body with a slight curve, like that. Let's do the same on the other side, shall we? Exactly the same. Mirror image. There we go. 2 little legs. Okay, next, let's give Boris some arms. So about here, so a bit more than halfway down the body. Because I always think bears have got very long bodies and their arms. I always draw their arms quite low down on their bodies. You might remember we drew Fred the bear actually. He was one of the first Draw with Rob videos that we did. I think it was number 3. And he's a very similar shape actually. He's a bit wider than Boris, but his arms are still very low down on his body. So let's draw the first one. We're going to draw a sort of sausagey shape. It just comes down like that. At the end, we're just going to add a few little lines like that to make it look like his arm is nice and furry. And we're going to join it back up like that. We're going to do exactly the same on the other side. This is a very symmetrical drawing, this. In fact, I'm thinking about it, I think it's perfectly symmetrical, this drawing. All the way through to the end, pretty much, which is quite rare. So there we go, 2 bear arms. Now, I'm going to change pens actually for this bit. I'm going to go back to my thinner pen. Because now, we need to add the rest of Boris's jumper in. He wears a sort of a roll neck, turtleneck jumper. So we need to add the jumper in, because at the moment, he hasn't got any clothes on, has he? I'm going to go back to this pen for this bit. I've changed my mind again. Changing my mind all over the place, aren't I? So what we need to do is, at the end of his arm, we are going to draw a straight line across and another straight line across, like that. And it's going to slightly just overlap the ends. The ends are just going to overlap the ends of the lines of the arm. And we're going to join them up like that. And then we are just going to add lots more vertical stripes. So we're sort of disguising the fact that there is a line going through the turn up of his sleeve, if you see what I mean. So it looks like a jumper cuff. Let's do the same on the other side. 2 lines. Lines either side at the end. And then we add lots more lines to make it look like the end of his sleeve. See? Clever. Clever. And we need to do the same sort of thing up here for the roll neck. So what we're going to do, we're going to add about that far down, so maybe 4 or 5 centimeters down from the top of his head. We're going to add a line that goes all the way across like that. Again, we're just going to go over the ends slightly. And this time we're going to make it a little bit thicker because it's a big thick roll neck jumper. Maybe about that far, 1.5 centimeters or so. Down like that. Then we are going to add another line on the outside. We're going to join those 2 up, just like that. And then add lots more lines across here to make it look like a kind of ribbed jumper and turtleneck thing. There we go. And then the final line to add is down here where the bottom of his jumper is. We just need to add one there. This time we're not going to go over the ends, we're just going to add a simple line like that. Now I'm going to change to my thinner pen, I think. Actually no, I'm not, because what I'm going to do, I'll tell you what we'll do next. We'll add the rest of the lines on the jumper. So we're going to add lots of lines all the way up the jumper sleeves, like that, just to give our jumper a nice sort of woolly texture. Okay, we're going to do the same on that sleeve, and then we're going to do the same all the way up the body, so lots of straight lines. Now you don't need to watch me draw all of these because it will take a long time, so I'm going to go into speed mode to do this. Okay, so here we go. Ready? 3, 2, 1, let's go. There we go. Finished jumper with lots of nice kind of ribbed textures going on there. So there we go, that's Boris's jumper finished. Now, finally, I am going to switch to my thin pen. Right, let's add a bit of a face, shall we, to Boris. What we're going to do, first of all, is imagine where the middle of his head is. So it's like about there, isn't it? I want you to just go slightly to the right-hand side of the middle, and we're going to draw a fairly straight line down to about there. So about 2/3 of the way down his head. Then at the bottom we're going to go straight across, just a little way. Then we're going to go right back up to the top. Now this isn't it's not like a proper rectangle, it's not dead straight, it's slightly, sort of very slightly pointed at this end. And that's going to be our bear's snout. It's very similar to the way that we did Fredbear's snout back in video 3. And at the bottom of that rectangle, I want you to draw another rectangle, a smaller one. This time it's going the other way, and we're going to colour that one in, like that. And that's going to be his actual nose. And then down from the middle of that, just joining up, we're just going to do a tiny little line. You can't even really see it, actually. Okay, next, let's wake Boris up. We're going to add a little dot here, and a little dot there, each side of his nose. And look, Boris the bear is awake. While we're here, why don't we do the insides of his ears? So what we do here, we just do a line, imagine that line's carried across, but with a little gap on each side of the ear, and then a kind of arch to join it up, to make a little shape inside each ear, like that. Just a little bit of detail. Now Boris here, he wears a rather nice pair of glasses, a bit like my glasses, if you've ever seen my glasses. So this is how we draw the glasses. First of all, we extend that line across and make it very slightly thicker, like that. Okay? Then we're going to come down, go across down underneath, and then curve up there, like that, to make one of the glasses frames. Quite thick glasses, a bit like my ones actually. He's obviously got very good taste, this bear. There we go, one glasses frame. We're going to try and do the same on the other side. We need to try and make it, again, remember I said this drawing is totally symmetrical, so everything we do on one side we're going to be doing on the other side too. Top of the glasses goes across like that. There we go. 2 glasses frames, and then we need to join them in the middle, so let's just add a little slight curved line there, just across the middle. There we go, a nice pair of glasses for Boris. I'm just sort of going back over mine to try and make sure it's roughly the same thickness all round. And now, my very favourite bit. Actually, now I'm going to leave my favourite bit till right at the end. Let's add a few claws, shall we? First, we're going to add a little claw there on that side, and then we'll add 3, shall we, in the middle there. It's a bit like when we also did Clive, didn't we? Clive the polar bear from Blown Away. And so he had lots of similarities, because of course he's a bear too. What video was Clive? I can't remember which video Clive was. I think it was later. It was about number 27, something like that. So if you haven't done Clive number 27 and Fred number 3, you can go back. If you're on my YouTube channel, just go back and have a look, or you're on my website. They're all free. Feel free to do them whenever you want. This is the 3rd bear we've drawn, so you might as well get the full collection. Let's add some claws to his feet. We're going to add 3 little claws on that side, and then 3 little claws on that side. It's quite a nice one. This one is quite easy, isn't it? Good old Boris. Okay, now I think it's time to do my favourite bit of the whole drawing, and that, of course, is Boris's moustache. He has got a lovely curly moustache. This is how we do the moustache, okay? We're going to start right in the middle, under his nose. We're going to come down, and then we're just going to turn up, like that. So it's like one of those fairground slides that I always mention. You go down and then up at the end. And then, my favourite bit, we're going to add a little swirl, because he has got a lovely twirly moustache. There we go. And remember, this drawing is symmetrical, so we need to do exactly the same on the other side. You're coming down, up, twirl around. Try and keep it the same as the other one, if you can. And there we go. Big bad Boris's twirly moustache. Do you know what? That's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for the outline of our drawing. Now, Boris, shall I show you Boris? Here's Boris again. Here's our picture of Boris. Look, it's not bad. It's not a bad likeness, is it? We're pretty close. You can see he wears a black jumper and he's sort of this sort of dark bluey greyy colour, isn't he, in my book? But do you know what? As I always say, you can do your Boris any colour you like. There are no rules here. The more colourful, the better, I say. But I'm going to try and stick to the colours I used in the book. So, here I go. I'm off to do some quick, speedy colouring. I'll see you back here in 30 seconds or so, okay? Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's go. So there we go. There is my finished picture of Boris from my book, GRRRRR. Now the more eagle-eyed among you will have noticed that actually in the end I didn't use any colours at all. I've just used black and white. Because pretty much Boris is a pretty monochrome character. That means kind of one colour character. His jumper's black. He's actually a little bit bluey greeny, his fur. But I just thought today, some of you, not everybody who does these videos has colours, so I thought actually it might be quite nice if I just did a black and white drawing today. And it seemed to work for Boris, so I hope you don't mind. Now, I can't wait to see your pictures of Boris. Oh, before I forget, I'm going to sign my drawing down here. Rob, add a little kiss. There we go. Don't forget to sign your drawings so that everybody knows who the artist responsible was. Now, I can't wait to see your pictures of Boris. So get your grown-up to take a picture of your drawing. And if you're watching on Facebook, put a picture in the comments below, down there. Or if you have found this video on social media, on Twitter or Instagram, why don't you take a picture and repost your drawing using the hashtag #DrawWithRob. You can see it up there. And then I'll get to see it, hopefully. That would be great. And then, you know, I make up a grid, don't I, of the characters at the end. So who knows, maybe your drawing will end up in the grid. I can't wait to see your pictures of Boris. He's one of my favourite characters in my books. I think GRRRRR is one of my personal favourites out of all the books that I've written, actually. It's a really, when I read it out at live events, it's my favourite one to read. I really like it, and I really like Boris, the character. So I hope you've enjoyed drawing him with me today. If you're watching on YouTube, it would be really great if you could press that button down there, the one that says subscribe on it. That would be good, and tell all your friends to subscribe too. Why not? The more people that see these videos, the better. Now, I'm going to be back very soon for another episode of Draw with Rob. So, take care of yourselves in the meantime, won't you? And I'll see you very soon. Bye everyone.